First of all, I'd like to thank Bob Knight and the people of the Springs Institute and the Springs Council and Normando and everybody who's helped put this on. This is a very, very important consortium of people here. And I'd like to take a moment to honor those who couldn't be here, or those who, for one reason or another, couldn't be here and wanted to be here, and those who have gone on to the next dimension. We're standing on the backs and the shoulders of a lot of people that worked hard to get us here to this moment. People like Wes Skiles, and Jim Stevenson, and John Mann, Gainesville, Kathy Cantwell, Judy Hancock. These people were my heroes, and we miss them. So I honor them right now, right here. I'm a 7th generation Floridian. My great-great-great-grandfather is buried up near Jasper. That's on my father's side. On my mother's side, I have Choctaw Native American history, and we go back in West Florida a very long time. Very proud of my heritage. I don't know if this image is going to show up very well. This was kind of hastily created. This is a drawing of what I think is a very important idea. There's been a lot of talk about holistic vision and holistic concept in this conference. And I created this idea a couple years ago. It's a drawing I'm working on for the cover of my new book. It's called the Alamacani Eco-Province. And the idea is to include absolutely every land and water that connects to the Floridan aquifer. An all-inclusive idea that transcends political boundaries, beyond the state lines, beyond county lines. And what I'm working on is a curriculum. I'm an environmental educator, by the way, an independent one. Sometimes I get paid, but I do a lot of volunteer work. And so I work with children quite a bit. And one of the things that I work on is finding a context, an easy context for people to relate to. And I think sense of place is probably one of the most important of all. And so while we love our springs, the springs are the crown jewel of Florida, and we all know how beautiful and important they are, it's also important to note that the spring sheds and all the other ecosystems within this eco-province are all equally important because they all contribute to the integrity of the whole. Just like every one of us in this room contributes to the integrity of this conference, every ecosystem, every physiographic landform, every plant and animal in this region are all together, and we need to support all of them together. So as an environmental educator, I try to create this sense of place and compile information about physiographic landforms so that I can go into the schools, into people and say, this is where you actually are. Instead of forming a sense of place through man-made creations, like I live on this city block down the street from Walmart, it's like, no, you live on the Alachua Plateau, on the Cody Scarp. You know, and then you can also include rare and unusual characteristics of these physiographic landforms to help people form a relationship with these plants and animals that you live close to. And therefore, when it comes time to stand up, you have this relationship already created to represent when you go up to speak about places. This is another image of our eco-province, part of it, the peninsular part. You can see the Devonta Shanta of the three main water bodies, Lake Okeechobee and the Everglades, the green swamp in the middle, and the Okefenokee in the top there. It's very important for us to celebrate all the different natural characteristics of Florida, because the springs are really the final product of all of this. The recharge areas, everything. And when I bring this in and show this to the kids, you know, they want to see where they're at, and I point it out to them. And then we start to describe the mosaic of the tapestry of how these ecosystems and physiographic landforms combine together. So I've been doing this for quite a few years, and as a matter of fact, it was in the late 90s I was doing this work as a volunteer when Annie Pace and Stuart Thomas decided to create the Artists Alliance of North Florida to find funding for me to do this work. That went on to become Florida's Eden, and then Florida's Eden actually helped to create the Springs Institute. So in a funny roundabout way, I have a lot to do with all of this. This is the Florida Scrub. It's a watercolor I did in 1995. That's actually near where I grew up down in Cook County. This is a Sandhill Autumn painting. You can't really tell in this image, but there's lots of different species in there. There's the indigo snake, the gopher tortoise, Florida mouse. These kind of images are very useful to help people to see just how involved and complicated our ecosystems are. And if people don't know about something, they can't relate to it. So the more that we can teach everyone about all these different characteristics, the more likely they are to want to make actions that would benefit the whole. I think that might be it. So anyway, it's a real honor to be here today, and I thank you very much.